This icon down at the bottom left, you'll notice that any page that you click on the site, that icon is always there. This is the icon that is connected to what we call our trip planner widget. So you'll hear us refer to it often as the widget. It is our trip planner feature. So if I were to click on this button, it would take me to this page here. Now, this is the front page of the trip planner, and you'll notice that I'm already logged into my account. So first, I want to look at Barnett Reservoir. That's where we're going to go today. And to zoom in to the map, you can press this plus icon. And to zoom out, you can press the minus icon. So once I've zoomed in to the lake that I want to build my itinerary with, I can see with these blue icons, these are each an individual entry of a business or a boat ramp or any type of entry that is in our website. So first things first, I'll make sure I'm selected on the right category, which is outdoors. And the first thing I want to look for is a boat ramp. So I will deselect everything and select boat ramp from this list. And you'll see all of those blue icons that just popped up. And I got some great options here, and I can actually scroll through this list on the left side and see exactly what options I do have. When my mouse is highlighted over the thumbnail, it actually populates another thumbnail on the map itself. So you'll notice as I scroll through, that's really handy so that I don't have to go hunting for which one is which. If I wanted to know more about the particular entry and thumbnail, I could click on it and I can scroll down and learn a little bit more about it. Open 24/7. It's a marina and a boat ramp with plenty of parking, northeast side of Barnett. Great. Awesome. It even has a picture overview of what it looks like. So that's great. But I think what I'm going to do today is I want to add this Rankin Landing to my trip itinerary. So to do that, I could either press this button here that says Add Plus, or I could select this button here that has the plus icon. If I wanted to press this icon, it would just give me a better view of the location pin here. But I'll press that plus icon and it'll actually add this entry to my trip itinerary, which we're going to look at in a little bit. So the next thing I want to search for is actually going to be somewhere to eat. I know that long day on the water, I'm going to want something to eat when I'm done. So I will go underneath this category of dining. I will deselect all. Then I'll select some categories of foods that I might want to try. Pizza sounds really good, seafood, and bar and grill. So I have quite a few options surrounding the lake. Even, there's some options up that way as well. But this option right here looks really close to the boat ramp that I just added to my itinerary. So I want to look at that. I'll go ahead and add it to my trip itinerary. Next thing I want to look for is actually going to be a bait shop. So I'm going to go back to my outdoors category. Again, I'm going to deselect all. Starting to see a pattern here a little bit. And I will click bait and tackle stores. So there's quite a few surrounding the lake. So I will add this to my trip planner if I needed. But if I needed live bait, there's definitely some options. All right, so next thing is going to be a hotel. And I think that'll be the last thing that I add. We wanted to cover a lot of bases with where people could stay, and not just hotels, but RV camping, cabins. We really have everything we could possibly think of. But for this trip, I really wanted to stay at a campground. So I'm going to select campground here. And there's actually a campground right next to my boat ramp. So I'm going to add that to my trip itinerary as well. So now that I have my itinerary done, the next thing I'm going to do is to name my December fishing trip. I've called this December fishing trip. If you want to name it something else, you can name it family fishing trip. And that way, when you share your itinerary with someone, that's going to be the first thing that they see. Next thing, I'm going to add a starting point. So I do have the option to use my current location if I have shared my location with the site itself. But for this example, instead, I'm just going to put the address of our office. So I'll press done, and that'll give me a starting point, which is a ways away from Mississippi, but that's okay. And if I wanted to move around some of my destinations, I could just by dragging the different thumbnails. And next thing I'll do is start my plan. So up here, you can see some directions. This is kind of an overview of getting from my point A to my point B. And I'll just click through and see all of the different steps it takes. Now, this is synced with Google Maps. So I'm going to show y'all one of our favorite features. And this is probably best demonstrated when I zoom in on the lake itself. And we're going to take a look at our boat ramp. What we'll do is we will take this person up at the top right and drop him near our boat ramp. And it will give us a view of the boat ramp itself. So I'm definitely a little bit in the water here. But if I go to the left, I'll be able to see the boat ramp. So you can see they have a really good parking lot here. Obviously, there's a dock to fish off of. This is where, you can launch the boat here. If I wanted to get a little bit closer to that, I could by pressing this plus in the top right, or if I needed to redrop the yellow person up at the top right, I could to get a better view. So far, one thing that I didn't add to my trip planner that I do a lot of the time is gas stations. And those are very important for a trip, obviously, since I was traveling from Alabama. And for those fishermen that have boats, you need non-ethanol gas. So all of our gas stations include in that description that I showed y'all on the thumbnail, a description of whether or not they have ethanol fuel or non-ethanol fuel. So if I wanted to share this itinerary with someone, I would simply press this share button up at the top, and I could share via email, Twitter, Facebook. I could share through text here, or if I wanted to put in their email this way, I could as well. Thanks for watching. We hope that this video gave you insight into the trip planner feature that's available on the Mississippi Crappie Trail website as well as the app.